Bez Hashem, we are starting a new series of shiurim called Living with Kedusha. We're going to be going through the sefer Oisef Amarim, Kedusha V'Tara from Yaakov Meir Shechter. And the first thing I'd like to discuss is why this topic, why this sefer, what does Kedusha even mean, and why is Kedusha so often referred to as Yesod, the foundation? So the pasuk in the beginning of Parshas Kedoshim says, Dabra kol das bnei Yisrael, v'amarta aleim kedoshim tiyu, ki kodesh ani Hashem Elokeichem. Speak to Klal Yisrael and tell them that you should be holy, because I, your God, I am holy. And Rashi explains, have your prushim and arayasim and averi, you should separate yourselves from forbidden relationships and from sins. Shekol makom she'atam moitzi ged erva atam moitzi kedusha. Anytime you find mentions of forbidden relationships, you also find Kedusha, holiness, mentioned. So the first question is, what does Kedusha mean? What does holiness mean? We know a chumash is holy. We know a tzaddik is holy. What does it mean, this esoteric word, holy? What does holiness mean? So Rav Itchemeyer Morgenstern explains. He says the lashon of Kedusha, the lashon of Kadosh, is the same lashon as Kedushin. When a man and woman get married, a man is Mekadesh and Isha, a man is Mekadesh a woman, they have Kedushin in order to get married. What does Kedushin mean over there? Kedushin means Shayach, that she is now Shayach to him, she's Shayach to him. She is designated to him. There's exclusivity. And that's what Kedusha means. Kedusha means that we are Shayach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kedoshim Tiyu. We should be designated for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ki Kadosh Ani, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Shayach to us, he's designated to us. Kedoshim, being Kaddish, means that we stay away from anything that takes away from that exclusiveness. Anything that comes between the designated relationship between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we stay away from that. Being Kaddish means that we are focused on that designated relationship that we have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is the Yesod, this is the foundation of everything, is the relationship and the designated, exclusive relationship that we have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Anything that ruins that relationship, as people know that struggle in Inyani Kedusha, it has an impact on the relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It has an impact on the way they do, on the way they daven. It has an impact on how they do mitzvahs, on their desire to do mitzvahs, on how they struggle with the Yetzer Hara. Why? Because it is taking away from our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's why Rashi explains, have a prushim and arayis min avera, stay away from forbidden relationships and from averas and from sins. Whenever you find, speak, mention of forbidden relationships, you're going to find holiness as well. Because the forbidden relationships are what's cutting us off from our exclusive relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What does it mean to live with Kedusha? Living with Kedusha doesn't mean that I walk around with my eyes closed, not looking outside of my Dalet Amas. Living with Kedusha means that I am living on a higher plane. I am existing on a higher plane. I am on a higher plane of existence. I am living life more expansively. I am living a life of connection to Hashem. It's not just about how we react to certain situations or what choices we make, but it's about becoming a different person entirely. The choices we make or how we're going to react to different situations are going to be different because we have become different people. Because we are different, because we are living a life of Kedusha, a life of connection to Hashem. So often, the only times we discuss Inyani Kedusha, the only times we discuss this topic of Kedusha is during the period of Shayavim. But 6 weeks is not enough. If we want to have that exclusive relationship with Hashem, if we want to have that connection with Hashem, this is something that we have to work on the entire year. And Be'ez Hashem, the series of Shiurim will go way beyond the 6 weeks of Shavavim. If we really want to succeed in trying to live with Kedusha, if we really aspire to increase the Kedusha in our lives, we have to give Him more than 6 weeks. Which brings us to the last question. Why this sefer? There's a lot of sefarim that talk about Inyani Kedusha. There's a lot of sefarim on Shavavim, a lot of sefarim on Shmiras Einayim, Shmiras Habris, guarding your eyes, guarding your bris. Why this sefer, Oisif Amarim, the Sichas Kodesh from Yaakov Meir Shechter on Kedusha V'Tara? And I think the reason why I want to learn this sefer is because the focus of this sefer is not just on what the nisyonos are, not just on how we get tested, but how we should be framing the nisyonos in our lives. How we should be, what our approach to the nisyonos should be, how we should look at the nisyonos, how we should relate to our Yetzer Hara, how to relate to the low periods in our lives, how to relate to the fact that we fall. Most importantly, I think the sefer is a hopeful sefer. It gives a person so much hope. No matter where a person's holding, no matter who you are, what you've done, what your background is, the sefer is a hopeful sefer. This sefer has changed my life, and Be'ezus Hashem, I know and I hope that it could be life-changing for other people as well. B'siyata d'shmaya.